Galacta enters the fight, but can she dominate using only early series cards? This deck brings together Series 2 staples with the new Season Pass card to create a powerful yet accessible strategy. Let's break down how to maximize Galacta's potential with this budget-friendly build. Galacta gives the first card you play at another location +3 power, and to take advantage of that, we use Professor X, Gamora, and sometimes Storm. It depends on if a location helps you get one of those cards out early, or Galacta out early, or if you're snatching away a Limbo. To complement our lockdown components, we have Sunspot, Nightcrawler, Medusa, Lizard, and Cosmo to a certain degree, and he's also good for disruption. We round out the deck with Ant-Man, a card who's in all of my decks, and the spiciest edition in Heimdall, which allows you to slide cards out of the Professor X lane and into another lane, or into the Professor X lane, or into the flooded lane. Let's see how this works. Okay, first up we have Star Baker. I can wait on the Ant-Man. They have 8 cards in their deck on turn 1. They are clearly a Wiccan gamer. I could get Medusa down and then play her again. I will get Lizard down. We'll lean into the location that is unrevealed. I like to do that with lesser series decks. That is not a great location for Lizard because it could fill. But I can get a card into Luke's bar in Nightcrawler. I will play Galacta right. Okay, our deck is a little bit more powered. They did not play any card. There's also Heimdall, which can slide cards. I will snap. So I will get the Galacta down now. There's an argument to be said I should move the Nightcrawler now, just to avoid some disruption. Okay, and then I should be able to win this lane. Do I... Killmonger is a card. They're not running Killmonger, but just in case, let's go and do this. Interesting. And then it should just be the Heimdall shuffle? Do I play Cosmo? No, because if they play Hazmat, it would be left. So let's just do the Heimdall slide. I have priority. And I think this did it. We will see what card they have middle, but I can't imagine there's a card middle that would actually, do any damage. Fantastic first game. You got to see Heimdall coming in fantastically on the last turn. Galacta gave us one buff, just one buff, but that's more than enough to convince them not to play left, to abandon left. No problem. Nobody will expect Heimdall in this deck, and he is just perfect. And we got out of here with a game 1 win. Okay, next up we have... Turn around. Let's see. Where do I play Sunspot? Where, oh where? I can play him here. And then I can... Is this Arishem? Oh, of course it is. There is an early Galacta, as I was kind of mentioning. So we can really press them, close off all 3 locations, quite frankly. Clintar, are they really going to play into Clintar? Galacta here. And then remember, I can slide cards over. But where, oh where do I do that? Let's go Storm here and Ant-Man here. Okay. So I think I snap because I am going to play a Shang-Chi. And this should just devastate them. We will see what they do here. If they abandon, I can just play Gamora middle, but they should be in a tough spot. Ooh. They got us with the Alliance. There is no way to win that location, but I mean, does this just do it? They have priority. How many points am I adding? Do they have Magneto? Oh, I'm gonna stay for this Boomer Snap. 12, 15, 16, 17? Yeah, I'll stay.
We are the future.
That took the wrong card. Yes, it did. I think they were hoping to win tiebreaker with the Storm, and I stayed. I did. You heard me. I'm pretty sure I said it out loud that I was expecting the Magneto. That's what the snap meant. For newer players, it is super important to learn what snaps mean, and that just comes with game experience and game time, honestly. Where if a player last turn snaps, that means they think they have an answer to win. And so I called out Magneto. I didn't bother to even do any type of math. Magneto had to grab these 2 instead of the Storm. It was also important that I had 2 spots to prevent all 3 from being dragged over. And it worked out for us this game. Okay, next up we have the Chain Man Eddie. 8 cards in deck, cloning vats. Let's hope they're not destroy. And get down a couple of Sunspots. Nebula is a good choice, so they are not destroy. Pet Mansion means we play Sunspot middle. They have priority. They have priority. I'm considering playing Cosmo. Let's see. Let's go Cosmo here. I am afraid this game. Okay, I have extra energy. Let's go Galacta middle, along with Ant-Man. Oh, I can get a bonus with this Galacta. I guess I'll go here. Let's take advantage of this bonus. And let's see, do I want to destroy cards? They're snapping. I have 7 energy. I'll stick it out. They have priority. Okay, a turn 7 it is. Where is Storm? Where, oh where? And is this a skip? Oh, if this is a skip turn.
Storm!
Oh. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, I can't snap because that key's... What is this, 6? I go up to 10. 11? Yeah, that never wins. That never wins. So, I think it's just this. Perfect. Boy, this recording is going fantastic. Again, this is knowing your opponent's deck. Once I see High Evo, it's... Once I see High Evo, it's clearly a soak on turn 6. And having Storm in this deck, my... I can't tell if they're just really ticked off or... But with... This is why you rarely, if ever, see me add magic in my decks. I don't think I've ever had a deck on my channel with magic in it. And this is why. Because people can just rip it away and take double the cubes. And you're sitting there relying on magic. And there are many location changing cards in this game. There's Rhino and Scarlet Witch, which are much lesser played. Storm, I guess Storm is kind of not being played right now, but with that Galacta combo, it's just a lot of points. So even with Professor X is along that line too, a 5/5, and Storm is a 4/8. I think she got hit by Cyclops once. And being able to play a late Storm, the Galacta Storm combination. Again, this game plan just continues to come through. This Series 2 deck has better snap and retreat lines, I think, than the actual Galacta deck I'm using to climb for real, which I will be featuring in a separate video. That one I'm confused as heck on how to snap, even though it's a fantastic deck. This deck is a little clearer, of course, because it uses simpler cards, Series 2. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm using it to climb right now. Okay, now we have Kraken apostrophe S. Well, they have a Storm or a Shang-Chi. And we have a Skaar. So this is just getting a bunch of power middle so we can storm that location. So I will play Medusa first. Orca is a good random pull, actually. They have not played 2 cards. We know they are a Surtur Skaar deck. Yeah, they're definitely going for the raft. And we storm middle, as I was saying. I don't know what we're doing on turn 5. There are some options. Did they get my Storm or my Shang-Chi? They took priority. So they could only play an armor? I'm gonna go Gamora over here. I don't think they can test middle. They kept priority. What, oh what do I do? Do we think they have both armor and Cosmo? Because that could be a problem. And I don't have, what's his face? If I had to play Sean, I think they would expect me to play Shang-Chi here. Nightcrawler is the card I was thinking for to get the Ant-Man bonus. I'm willing to roll it. Oh, they played, yeah, they got me. I should have gone for the obvious. Should have gone for the obvious. This was just, came down to a 50-50. It was legitimately a 50-50. And they just guessed right with the Goliath. They very easily could have gotten here. They probably got my Storm and not the Shang-Chi, but that's hard to guess. And yeah, this just came down to a 50-50. I'm fine with it. I just had a fantastic streak of, 3 games in a row. This is bound to happen. You're going to lose 50-50s. That's just the name of the game. And you keep it moving and stay Q positive. Okay, next up we have Sobriquet.
Breaking news.
Ooh, Hawkeye Kate Bishop. A card I do not own. It's sparkly, so is it? Oh, it's not an Arishem deck. Usually people put the cosmic border on the Arishem. That way all of the generated cards get that as well. We can fill this location and then do the Heimdall shuffle. So maybe I do that. I am going to snap. I am going to snap. Do I play Cosmo? I have priority. Let's play Cosmo instead. I'm going to pivot. Whoa. They took Yikes. Yikes. So we definitely Professor X next turn. Get Hawkeye and Ant-Man. And I just Professor X into Lechagia. Oh, look at that fancy play. Fancy pants. Okay. And then we YOLO a Professor X, because who in their right mind plays into Lechagia? So they probably play 1 card left is what I'm expecting? But this is risky. So if we were already in for 2 cubes, so it's just snapping. Perfect. Okay, they have filled there, which means my only path is the Heimdall middle. They only have 1 location. So do I just think this is enough? No cards slide, thankfully, because Professor X will slide out of his lane. So please understand that interaction with Heimdall. This is 10 points. I go up to 19. Can they add? They could. This goes up to 4. 9. Yay. This isn't a good stay. But, yeah, this isn't a good stay. Wow, they could not add 10 points. To tie? Yeah, all they needed to do was tie. Because they're up by 4 points here. Also, I didn't recognize what deck this was, even though I should have. So take note, especially the newer players. When you're going up against Clog, you want to clog yourself. So the fact that Green Goblin came over, along with Hood and Hawkeye Kate Bishop, clogging the 1 lane, Cosmo effectively stops them from doing anything they want to do here. So clogging this 1 lane is ideal if I expect them to continue to throw over junk. With this deck that I'm playing against, they don't have high power cards. They might run a Red Hulk, but they also didn't have that in hand, or we would have seen that. And maybe the raft card they generated was a Zola or a Null or something totally ineffective, Taskmaster. And they just did not have 10 points to even get to the tiebreaker. So they had to retreat later. And this is when you YOLO Professor X into undesirable locations. And I executed the game plan perfectly. So I've only been recording for 26 minutes. I just pulled up my stats because this run felt fantastic. I usually have to record longer to get a good cross-section of games. This time I got a pretty good cross-section of games. You got to see the Heimdall, you got to see Galacta come to play. I think I had a game or two in there without Galacta. I went 4-1, so I played a total of 5 games. I'm pretty sure they were also all against humans. I may include every single game because it was such a short time I had to record. And you really got to see the effectiveness that this deck has with all Series 2 cards. So don't get fooled that you have to play a bunch of Series 4 and 5 cards, or even Series 3 cards, to have success, especially to climb to infinite. Just throwing Galacta into a Series 2 deck can propel it to huge heights. And you got to see exactly how effective this deck was. I earned 14 cubes total. There was a 4 cube loss in there, I think, on a 50-50. So I very easily could have gone 5-0. Small sample size, sure. But I like to think that I was able to show exactly how effective this deck can be. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Thank you to all the members of the channel. If you are a newbie, try out the deck, let me know how it does. And also, even if you're not a new player, this deck is kind of good. So don't sleep on these Series 2 cards. And even if you just leave in Storm and Professor X, and maybe you throw in a Zabu to discount your 4 3-cost cards in this deck, go ahead, do it. Or maybe even a Psylocke to cheat out either a Storm or a Galacta early. This deck has some huge growth potential, just adding some Series 3, 4, or 5 cards if you have access to them. If you don't, it's also effective to climb to infinite. Until next time.